So this isn't an unsealed video per se, or a repeat video, or a video with any specific purpose other than just to talk about what's been going on with the channel. If you've been a subscriber to the channel for a while, you noticed that for the last 6 weeks, things were either quiet or kind of weird. I did a lot of streaming on my PlayStation 4, whether it's arcade archive stuff or whether it was games in the Sega Genesis collection or Shenmue or things that I just felt like doing. It was me trying to do something normal, but my heart really wasn't in it, and I was still really kind of anxious and depressed, and you can probably figure out why. I am now 48 years old, so I'm pushing 50, and I've never been through anything like this, and I've been on this earth a good while. This is just, it's weird. It is weird to be kind of, sort of, even if it's voluntary, locked up in your house for days and weeks at a time. My last time doing any kind of regular business was March 16th, which is close to 2 months, about a little more than a month and a half ago. The school that I work at and all of the schools here in Massachusetts were shut down on March 13th. So I have not been back to the building that I work in since then. And I was lucky enough to be there on that Friday the 13th when everything kind of changed, as we were there to kind of get ready for what might happen. And we did get the word that that was going to happen. So it is a very weird time, and I'll be honest on camera here, I did not take it well. I still struggle with it. I struggle with the uncertainty of it all, with the fact that we may be doing this for a long period of time. I struggle with seeing two distinct groups of people kind of going at each other on social media and elsewhere. I understand everything that's at stake, and me kind of in my bubble here, just watching it all go down and not knowing how it's going to end or how it's going to resolve itself is definitely unsettling, as I'm sure it is for many of you watching, whether you are my age or whether you're one of my students that happens to be watching the channel. It is a weird time. I don't want you to think that this is normal. I don't want you to think that most of the people, if anyone that you know, knows or understands or has any idea when this is going to end. This is all new for just about everybody. I don't know too many people that were around back when we had this last pandemic in 1918. That was 102 years ago. And this is really one of those once every 100 years kind of events, which is unfortunate. So I didn't deal with it very well. And my buddy Sam, who I've talked about on the channel before, has set me up with some games for Unsealed, and I go to his house every now and again, or I did before this whole thing, to play some games. He shared a video with me from Jeremy Parrish, who does some, he used to work in games journalism, and now he's a freelancer. He does stuff for himself, does phenomenal work talking about the NES and other consoles, and he did a video about just kind of other stuff about the Nintendo, and there was something about Nintendo fandom and the Nintendo fan base. And he included a snippet of one of my videos from, it must have been 2016 maybe. It was really old, I could tell, because I sat on I was in Retro Central across the hall. I sat on the left side of the GX TV instead of the right, which I did when I was filming in there. I had a lot less consoles back then. I had a GameCube and an NES and a Super NES, and my PS2 was kind of off to the side. I didn't have my original PlayStation yet. I didn't have my Wii yet, so that's how I know this was kind of old. But I saw that video. Sam shared it with me, and I realized, and this was like April 30th or March 1st, or May 1st, and I realized that I needed to stop letting this beat me. I know that things are weird right now. I certainly miss the kids that I work with, the teachers that I work with. It has taken a toll on me. The job that I am working in and was working in a particular building was one of the best things I have had happen to me in the last 5, 6, 7, almost 10 years. and to have everything change and to have everything be so uncertain, I wish I had dealt with it better, but I didn't. And now I'm trying to get myself back on the horse, and I'm trying to get myself moving forward. And really, the best way for me to do that is to try and live my life the best way that I possibly can, given the restrictions that we have. So that's what I'm trying to do. So the channel will resume regular activity or somewhat regular activity. I'm going to try and get a new video out every week, whether it's unsealed here in the office. I'm thinking about trying to do a video or two back in Retro Central, which is where I'm going to be doing my work-related activity now. I'm going to be doing my classes and my meetings in there. So all of the teachers and all of the students, if they look on the camera, they're going to see all of my video game posters and things in the other room. But now that I have that set up, I'm looking forward to hopefully doing an episode here or there. I talked about this on Twitter and on Instagram a little bit about why the setting change. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, this is where I used to do videos before I was shooting in there across the hall. I would shoot videos in here, and they were more bloggy or vloggy kind of things like I'm doing now. I really didn't have a purpose. I just wanted to kind of get on camera and talk, kind of like I do now, or I'm doing now. And then I moved across the hall. That's my bedroom across the hall. And I set myself up. I got myself a little TV tray. This laptop right here, the one that I'm using the camera for, I would bring that laptop into the bedroom, and I would set it up on a TV tray, and I would film. I would sit on my chair, and I would just start to play, or I would start to talk. And after I got an iPad for college, I changed from the laptop to that because the resolution's better. This is only a 720p camera that I'm talking to right here, whereas the iPad camera is a 1080p. Unfortunately, I got that iPad like in 2013, 2014, something like that. So it's been almost 6 years, and the battery is not what it used to be. It really doesn't hold a charge for that long. So if I'm going to film using that thing, I either have to have it always plugged in, or I have to have it hooked up to an external battery, or I have to film really, really quickly. I'm not able to make mistakes. Like, it took me 4 takes to get this far into the video to where I am now. So I may shoot in the other room. I'd like to, especially given that footage that I saw in Jeremy's video. I would like to do that, and I think some longtime viewers of the channel would probably think that that's pretty cool as well. So it's something that I'm thinking about doing, but whether I'm here in the office or in there, video production will be resuming. And I thank Sam and I thank Jeremy for kind of shaking me up a little bit and getting me on the right track. And I still have a ton of stuff here. That's really one of the things that depressed me, was that all of these things that were canceled were things that I had set up, I had lined up specifically for certain events that were going on. For example, with the Masters coming up, I had a whole bunch of golf stuff. These here are 2 Game Boy Advance games, Final Round Golf 2002 and Tiger Woods PGA Tour Golf. I have more golf games over there as well, plus I have Tiger Woods PGA Tour 12, the Masters for the Wii that I was going to do for Masters Weekend, and when all that went by the boards, that was depressing. Remember F9, that Fast and the Furious kind of sort of sequel that was supposed to hit this summer? I landed a copy of Fast and the Furious brand new for the PS2, and then that movie got pushed to next year, so all of a sudden it didn't make sense to open this, at least not right now. I had this sitting for the longest time. This is Chaos Legion here, which is a Devil May Cry kind of sort of kind of game, and I've been meaning to get around to this, and I haven't. I have, and this is just a small sampling, I have a bunch of video game magazines that are sealed from the 90s and 2000s. Oh, there we go. That I wanted to open up on camera and show you some of the pictures, show you what was inside, and talk about each issue and when it had come out and what was going on in my life, the games I was playing at that particular time. My magazine unveilings or openings or readings wouldn't be as quality as, say, my buddy Chris from Classic Gaming Quarterly, who does these fantastically well. I wish I could do what he does, but I don't have the equipment. So I wanted to do something like that. So I really do have a lot of stuff that I can get to on the channel, and I will. I think I just needed the time to kind of get my head straight, and I needed some incident, something somewhere to kind of push me over the edge and get me to stop feeling lousy about myself and about things that were going on. And honestly, I think that a lot of us need to get to that point. Some of us are just kind of doing what we do and we're surviving and we're not thinking about it. For me, it hit me a bit harder. My birthday was last month. It was April 22nd. The first birthday I have not looked forward to in forever. My mother, bless her soul, she actually drove out here from her home and delivered some food for me, a cake for me, and a card. And that was completely unexpected. And it was great. It was weird not being able to give her a hug and me standing there in my scarf because that's all I have for facial covering. But it was nice, but still overall the day was kind of a downer. Usually for my birthday I go game hunting or I go out and I do things, and in that particular day I did absolutely nothing. In fact, when my mom showed up I was still in my pajamas. I wasn't even dressed. So I really needed something. I needed a kick in the ass, and I finally got it, and I'm grateful for that. So to those of you who are watching the channel, whether you're new subscribers or whether you've been around for a while, whether you're a student of mine now, a student of mine from before, whether it doesn't matter who you are. I really genuinely from the bottom of my heart appreciate you taking any time that you do to watch the stuff that I put together. It's not about subscriptions or views for me. It's just about me getting on camera and kind of reminiscing a little bit. I'm a very fortunate individual in that I've lived, at least in terms of video game history, through, let's see. I was born in 72, so through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and here we are in 2020. So 6 decades of video game history I have lived through, and it means a lot to me to be able to share my memories and experiences with you. As cool as it is to read about what happened back then, or to hear about it from someone else's perspective, as you're doing now, it is completely different to actually live through it and remember everything that was going on and what you were doing at the time and how these things affected you, how the video games affected you, or why you picked the games that you picked, which is why this channel has become what it is. Whether it was me working on Retro Unscripted for a while, or whether it was me working on Constellation for a while, or whether it's me doing Unsealed now, or the Retro Referee, or Repeat, or any project, the idea has always been the same, and that is to share my experiences with you via the magic of the internet and a video camera, which I am eternally grateful for. And whether it's one viewer or a million, anyone who watches, that's certainly it certainly means quite a bit. So I'm rambling now. I will stop here. Expect a new Unsealed video coming this week. Today is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. I don't have any new Star Wars games to open this year, but maybe I'll pull one and we'll talk a little bit about Star Wars games, maybe for a repeat episode. We'll see what my timing looks like. Please take care of yourselves, your families, your friends, each other. And until the next time, my friends, take care.